I can tell you what this bird is, but I can't tell you where it is. It's a Ferruginous Pygmy-owl. You might think this face is adorably cute. To a small lizard, it'd be terrifying to see that face coming. Ferruginous Pygmy-owl is listed as threatened on the federally endangered species list. It's in bigger trouble in Arizona. In Texas, it's a little better off. It's sensitive enough that eBird won't pinpoint locations of where it's being reported. Some of the best habitat is in the southern live oak clusters of southeastern Texas. This owl was in here somewhere. I really wanted to see this bird, and apparently he wanted to see me. Of the 11 new birds I hope to see on this swing through southeastern Texas, this was the one I wanted most. Several more are waiting for me as we do this 9-day expedition going from the Texas Hill Country down to the Rio Grande Valley. First stop is a no-brainer, Laguna Atascosa National Wildlife Refuge. If you look at the eBird hotspots in that part of Texas, Cameron County, look at this cluster of red and orange spots. It's got the 5th longest bird sighting list of all of the hotspots in Texas. About half of all the birds that use the continental United States sooner or later end up here. My second time here, and I won't see an ocelot this time either. It's another hot day, so watching the 5 feeding stations around the visitor center is really attractive in the shade. Oh, this is just too easy. So, plain chakalaka. Bronzed cowbirds. Altamira oriole. Four of the 5 feeding stations have water. Every bird comes in for a sip and a bath. Long-billed thrasher. Brown-headed cowbird. More bronze cowbirds. And of course, white-tipped dove. It's late morning. Much of the food has been eaten. They refill the feeders at 1, so we'll go do some birding on the refuge and then come back for that. The good news is there's an extensive wildlife drive looping around one of the best parts of the refuge. The bad news is that critically endangered ocelot can be hit by cars, the leading cause of ocelot mortality in the refuge. After the last incident, the loop closed until major upgrades to safe wildlife passage were completed. The drive to Osprey Overlook is available, and there's a good wetland view on the way. It's worth a stop. I see the black-necked stilts are making more black-necked stilts. And there are miles of walking trails in the refuge, but we're going to get in 1 more hour of feeder watching before we have to head to Brownsville, Texas for 2 more lifers just waiting for us. So when you come to Laguna Atascosa, ask about the Palmetto falcon. It's got to be one of the hardest birds in North America to put on your life list. And it's right out there in that nest box. And it just flew by. It just flew by right now. To people, the border between the US and Mexico is pretty clear. It's the Rio Grande River. And if that's not clear enough, there's a border wall. But to birds, it's not clear at all. There's a lot of birds in Central America and in Mexico that stray just over the border. They find southern Texas, good enough. I'm going to use eBird to find them, I hope. I know what I'm looking for. is a bunch of parrots that have adopted the Brownsville area as home. I don't know where to look, but eBird does. Red-crowned Amazons are so common they've been adopted as the official mascot of Brownsville. They can be roaming the city anywhere. Anywhere. Zoom into Brownsville and you see all the red pins? That's everything that's been seen in the last month for red-crowned Amazons, and they're all over. So look at the pins that look most promising, and here's one right there. Oliveira Park. It turns out red-crowned Amazons go by the hundreds to roost in there at night. Of course, eBird doesn't mention that they roost at night, but if you're there during the day, they're off foraging in the city somewhere. I went there and I got a few green parrots, missed the red-crowned Amazons. eBird points me to another location in McAllen, Texas. Same deal. So this is it, the famous roosting spot for red-crowned Amazons, except you got to get here while they're still roosting. And I didn't. I later get them in Hugh Ramsey Park in Harlingen, just about 3 miles from my hotel. I got 3 of them, so whew, pressure's off. Meanwhile, there are 2 other birds I want to get in southern Texas. Clay-colored thrush and Audubon's oriole. Hotspot tells me to look in Bentsen-Rio Grande Valley State Park, home of and headquarters of the World Birding Center. I was going there anyway. Boy, this clay-colored thrush is a quick little bugger. When he starts hopping around, he can get out of your way fast. But on the other hand, we're right next to the World Birding Center. So is he ever used to people? He doesn't care that I'm standing right here. Hi, fella. Oh yes, that was a buff-bellied hummingbird. Okay, they're either showing their feathers to a female or they're turning their butts towards me. So here's the situation, Santa Ana National Wildlife Refuge. 2 reasons we're here. 1, this is probably the best place in this area to get hookbill kite, and the odds are really small. Second thing is there's a lot of water, so I'm looking forward to maybe some waterfowl and shorebirds. Groove Bill Ani, I was not expecting that. I guess maybe I should have been. Olive sparrow right beside me, and of course I can't see it because he's buried there in the bush. Got to tell you, it's a lot of fun to be in a place where I don't know everything I hear. It's just exciting. And the best thing is I can be wrong a lot and nobody's here to question it. Wait a minute, is that a green kingfisher behind the kiskadee? I didn't even see that. I don't want to brag, but that's only the 3rd least grebe I've ever seen. I don't want to brag, but that's only the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th least grebes I've ever seen. Definitely picked the right National Wildlife Refuge to do in the middle of the day in southern Texas. Water and marsh birds. I am sorry, Santa Ana National Wildlife Refuge. I did not do you justice. But it's a 3-pin day and got to go over to Estero, Llano before it's too late. What's more interesting than a muscovy duck? Muscovy duck with babies. Pardon me if I seem like an excited schoolboy, but I've never seen a stilt sandpiper in spring plumage. Never. It's a refuge. The birds are used to people walking by, and they don't get very nervous.
No, just go up in the tree. Oh yeah.
These better be long-billed dowagers, because that's what I'm calling them. Don't argue. They're calling like long-billed dowagers. Let me explain. I'm from Maine. I get short-billed dowagers a lot. Long-billed? I think I've seen 2. Estero, Llano Grande. It's basically a wetland in the middle of a flat area, and it's a relatively small park, but you know, the concentration of birds in here is off the charts. If I come back, which I will, definitely going to spend a lot more time here. This was just fabulous. Okay, back to the hotel. Gonna look at hot spots for around Corpus Christi, because that's where we're headed tomorrow. And Aransas National Wildlife Refuge. Corpus Christi. We should get there about the same time the birds do. There is a huge migration wave predicted for tomorrow, coming in off the Gulf of Mexico, and we're gonna be there. By the way, if you are keeping score, you may have noticed I missed one big target, Audubon's oriole. But I'll trade that for one that's in Corpus Christi right now. A bird so rare, it's only ever been seen in North America once. But it's still there. And I know where. Might be a good time to subscribe. Thanks.